Is Harvard University really holding its president, Claudine Gay, Dr. Claudine Gay, to the same standards when it comes to the plagiarism that it would assail for students committing the same offense? You might recall Dr. Gay, along with the presidents of MIT and Penn, giving generally seen as disastrous testimony on Capitol Hill earlier this month. They failed to explicitly say that calling for the genocide of Jews on campus would violate their campus's codes of conduct. Now, that, as well as Gay's commitment to progressive policies, have made her many right-wing enemies who have recently raised issues about her scholarship. But regardless of the provenance of these allegations, there is also the matter of whether or not they're true. Harvard's top governing body said a review revealed, quote, inadequate citations by Dr. Gay in a few instances, but, quote, no violation of Harvard's standards for research misconduct, unquote. Now, Harvard's guide on sourcing says this on plagiarism, quote, in academic writing, it is considered plagiarism to draw any idea or any language from someone else without adequately crediting that source in your paper, unquote. Now, critics of Dr. Gay and Harvard's review of the allegations say that there is a double standard going on here. CNN's Matt Egan is following this. Matt, what exactly is Dr. Gay accused of here?
Well, Jake, Claudine Gay's career is under a microscope, and now she's facing accusations of plagiarism. Now, Gay recently submitted corrections to two papers that she wrote as a professional academic in 2001 and 2017. However, there are clear examples of plagiarism that occurred in the 1990s when Gay was studying for her PhD at Harvard. Now, in one example, Gay's 1997 dissertation lifted one paragraph almost verbatim from another source without citation. That offense appears to go against Harvard's current guide on plagiarism, which you stated earlier, Jake. Harvard's plagiarism policy says that students who submit work without clear attribution to sources will be, quote, subject to disciplinary action, up to and including requirement to withdraw from the college. Now, the first publicly identified instance of plagiarism by Gay comes from a failure to properly cite sources in a 1993 essay. These instances of plagiarism were first reported by the Washington Free Beacon. CNN's analysis, led by my colleague M. Steck, confirmed some of the main allegations in that reporting. Now, Harvard's top governing body said in a statement last week it became aware of plagiarism allegations against Gay in late October. An independent review found a few instances of missing citations, but no violation of Harvard standards. However, it's not clear whether that review included Gay's 1997 dissertation. Now, neither Harvard nor Gay have commented on the allegations of plagiarism from the 1990s. CNN reached out to Harvard with a list of questions, but the school declined to comment. In a previous statement, Gay said, quote, I stand by the integrity of my scholarship. Throughout my career, I have worked to ensure my scholarship adheres to the highest academic standards. Now, we should note that the plagiarism allegations against Gay were first circulated by conservative activists. One of those activists has also criticized Gay on Harvard's diversity policies. Gay's most outspoken critic, hedge fund billionaire Bill Ackman, has also highlighted the plagiarism charges, and he's argued, without evidence, that Harvard only hired Gay to fulfill diversity requirements. Now, plagiarism experts that CNN spoke to stressed that this is a very complex issue. These experts were divided on whether Gay's omissions warrant any punishment, but none of them called for her to be fired, and they noted it's quite rare for academics to be fired for plagiarism. Jake?
What else are critics and plagiarism experts saying about Harvard's review of these plagiarism allegations?
Well, one criticism is the lightning-fast speed that Harvard pulled off this independent review. These types of plagiarism reviews, they can take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. This one, not even 2 months. Another criticism is that there's a double standard. One set of rules for the students, another for the president of the university. I do think we should emphasize, though, that these flames have been fired and fueled by activists. Not activists who are really concerned about academic citation methods, but right-wing activists who are trying to push out the presidents of Ivy League schools who they feel are too liberal. One last point here, Jake. Remember, when you talk about plagiarism, it really falls into two different categories. One is copying without attribution. There's also the more serious allegation of stealing someone else's ideas. And in this instance, these allegations of plagiarism are really all in the former camp. So yes, sloppy citations, but no, not idea theft.
Yeah,
Jake?
the big question, I think, in the future is how will Harvard be able to punish any students found guilty of the same offense without inviting a lawsuit? Because if she gets away with something that students can't get away with, that could be messy legally for the school, which I'm sure Harvard's lawyers have thought about way before I just said that. Matt Egan, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.